Okay, so when I take a look at this, the first thing I'm looking at is content-wise. I'm not a big fan of centering paragraphs of text that you have here. So one of the things I would suggest for right now is in your article tag where it says text align center, delete that. Just because it's been known that if you center paragraphs of text, it just makes it harder to read. Okay, so this wasn't lining up perfectly. I mean, this gives us more room for a graphic. We could do add a graphic over here if we wanted to. So I think that's, definitely don't center it, for that purpose. Um, then as we take a look here at your coding, I would definitely make sure you maybe bold some, when you bold, you might want to change some text color. There's looks like a spacing issue right here at the question mark. Fast forward. See, like here, I'd probably change that color. Maybe use the green color or use the gold color, for that. Now, eventually you're going to add spacing so the text is not so close to the edge because it does help make it harder to read. So what will happen is in your article tag, what you could do, you have zero point 0.1 pixels added already for padding. See, I would do probably about 10. See, that adds space above, bottom, top, and right. Now it throws this off. Then what you have to do is you'll learn this in next week. I have to adjust the width to make sure it fits the fixed size. So I'm adding 10 pixels on the left and 10 pixels on the right. So I have to subtract 20 from the width. So I want it to be 940. And that's going to fit perfectly what you need to do. Um, Yeah, so like like here where it says including custom, like you can experiment. So on that is your, what are we on? About page, I believe. So on the about page where you have the I tag. Okay, so on your style sheet, just add a I, and then we'll add a color. I want to see what this yellow looks like. Color colon semicolon, and I refresh. Yeah, so that yellow does work because it brands that in. So I think that would definitely help for that purpose. Um, okay, so let me look at that products page real quick, or the menus page. I'm going to pause this real quick so I can look at that. So eventually what you're going to have to do is you have to add some spacing here. And let me get back to it real quick. So that way we know which columns are columns instead of reading right across. So this is going to go back to your style sheet. Because you're working with, for example, let's say TH, we can go to our style sheet, and I'm going to add after my tables. So I like to put all my styles about the tables together. So I'm going to put in a TH tag, and I'm going to put in, first I'm going to control the width. So I'm going to try 150 pixels at this time. Okay, so notice how it's spacing it. So it's probably need a little bit more for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to 250. There we go. So now 250 gives us plenty of spacing, that you're working with, and then you can control that with more formatting. So like let's say you really want that to stand out. So maybe you want that, maybe that's where you go in. What we'll do is we'll take the color and then font hyphen size, maybe we do 18 pixels, make it stand out that way, something like that. Probably don't need it centered in that. But then the next thing I also want you to work with, so that will help you with your table. Spend some time, go to Google, go to fonts.google.com. Okay, want to look at for font choices here, and I really want that burger to stand out. Right now the slogan that you have here is a little bit, that my eye goes right to it. So I want this to stand out, so I want it to be a little bit larger. I want it to be more sans serif font. When you go to this, what you do is you click on the plus sign to add it. This opens up the family, and you do two things. Okay, you take this link tag, you copy it over, and you're going to put this at the top of in your head section on every page. Okay, so every head page, what it's doing is linking to that font so you can use it. Okay, and that's the simple part. Now I'm going to go back here to Google, and I'm going to add the font family. I have to tell it the font family I'm using. And so if I want to apply it to the H1 tag, let me save each of these real quick. Then I'll go into the H1 and I will do font family. And anytime you want to use that font family, you put it within the style that you want to work with. And then you might increase the size, font hyphen size, and let's do 48 pixels at this time. And when you go back in and you refresh, see, now that stands out compared to the slogan that you're working with. So that's something to take a look at and incorporate.